Ladies and gentlemen, Hex community of all ages, hey, Jake Freedom here, coming to you live from YouTube for this week's Hex Update Saturday for March 29th, 2014. And yet again, we had another patch rollout. Patch 828 came out on Friday. I think it was on the 28th. And this patch here didn't consist of a whole lot, but it did consist of one major brand new feature, and it'll be really cool. And it's a feature that's has to be in the game before it goes into beta, and that is card opening. Now, a few weeks ago, Corey Jones put a video up on his blog about the card opening experience. They put in the store. We weren't able to buy any cards because we didn't have any platinum. Well, this week's patch here, the devs and engineers and whatever, they gave each player 4,000 platinum to just play around with the actual store. And so you can buy packs, you can open them up, and it's really cool. Needs a little work, I think, but you know, it gets the point across. And we'll go ahead and take a look at that here in just 1 minute. Let's see here. They had a bunch of new gameplay changes. Some general things that they went over. You know, I'm not going to go over that because I feel that's kind of boring just listening to me talk to about gameplay changes. I feel that the heart of the actual update is the new features and the actual new cards. And this time, not only did they add 4 new cards, they also added 3 new gems. And I didn't realize that they added new gems until I was actually going through the notes and saw them. And I was like, holy cow, there's one gem in there that I really, really like. It's a sapphire gem. And we'll get to those in just a few minutes as well. Other than that, let's see here. Let's go ahead and let's show the actual card opening sequences here and how it actually works. So we had our main screen, nothing much changed here. Oh, almost forgot, they also made a new card manager. Let's take a look at that card manager first. It's definitely different. I'm not sure if I like it or not. Let me go ahead and just get rid of my card here and the camera so we can take a better look here. So what they've done is they've kind of the layout's very similar. They got these numbers below them just to indicate how many of the actual cards you have of that particular card. And they have these 2 extra boxes underneath here. I'm not exactly sure what those are yet. I'm sure there'll be more information to come. But other than that, I mean, it looks nice. Everything else functions the way it should. They have these little buttons here so you can get rid of, you can minimize things and whatnot. I'm not sure if that's really necessary. They updated the scrolls on the side. They have just these little buttons you can click on, but there's no actual scroll bar. The scroll wheel for the mouse still does work, so that's good. They've updated the champion interface here, and again, they have a little slider so you can minimize that, slide it off to the side so you have more room for your actual deck there. They've got a little options menu here now. New deck, save as, load, rename, select, sleeve, delete, all that good stuff. That's awesome. I like that little drop down there. The deck name, how many cards you have in your reserve. And then on the champion thing over here, it's really kind of cool. They have these 3 buttons on top. One is just your actual champion. These buttons don't do anything yet. You have your champion name. And then you have this button here, which tells you about your deck that you have here. So like 1-cost cards, you have 2 1-cost cards. I have 3 2 3-cost cards of 1 threshold. It kind of tells you what they are, tells you what type they are, what's the threshold count. This troop here, this is probably Fists of Brigadon. It has 6 threshold, and as you can see, the threshold things do kind of run over. So again, they're just implementing a new feature, and there's going to be some weird things with it, and they'll get those corrected, of course. Then it gives you your ratios. This is not new stuff. This has always been here. I don't exactly remember where it was at, though. Because you were able to do this before. I think it was when... There was an area in here where you could actually test draw your cards. I don't remember where it was at anymore. But so, I mean, this isn't anything new. It's always been in the game. It's just really difficult to find. And as you can tell, I don't remember where it was at anymore. So, yeah, it gives you your ratios here. You have 3% artifacts, 13% basic actions, 3% constants, 5% quick actions, 38% resources, and 37% of constants. So it's really cool. I like that kind of, you know, I don't know if you want to call it really a resource curve, or anything like that, but it just kind of gives you a better visual look on how your deck is actually constructed. And then it tells you your resources type, cards by threshold, average threshold, etc. So it's some new information you can go off of when you're building your deck there and whatnot. And then the last button here, it's a validation summary. It just says, hey, you know, there's something wrong with your deck. This one here says one or more cards has an empty socket, which I think is just a logic error, because I only have one card in here that's able to be socketed, and that's the Battle Beetle, but he is socketed. So again, you know, it's a new feature they brought out, and there's going to be some issues. No problem. We're still in alpha. Nothing to complain about there. So all in all, I do like the new card manager. I think it's far more intuitive than it was before. So hopefully people do like it. It does load slow though. I don't know how they're actually loading it, but it doesn't load all the cards right away. It loads them as they are displayed on the screen. So then the first time you go through all your cards and they all load up, you know, the second time you come into it, they should all be loaded, and you shouldn't have any problems. You won't have to wait for that. So I'm not sure they'll, you know, if they'll change that, or if that's the way they want to do it. I'm not really sure, but it's not really annoying, but I think it could be better. Then it tells you up here we have, you know, how many cards are actually in our collection. We have 6,973 cards, and we all know there's not that many cards, but we just have, you know, if we have 24, 22, 26 of all these cards. And as you know, when you play draft, you get to keep those cards you draft, so I've been playing draft quite a bit. So that's the card manager. I do like it. Now let's go to the store and take a look at that. So here's our store. We have, you know, here's your booster packs. You can buy some starter packs. They give you the cost for the platinum cost on them. You can't really buy starter packs right now. You can, but there won't be any cards in them. You can redeem your code if you have a code of some sort. But basically, you just mouse over the actual booster pack, and we're gonna let's just add 5. We'll buy 5. Now we have 5 packs. It doesn't tell us that anywhere, and that was actually something that they mentioned in the patch notes, that you won't be able to tell how many booster packs you actually have. But go ahead and click open pack, and that slides over here. It's pretty neat graphic there. I like it. You know, and then basically you just grab your card. You can click open all, but I like to do one at a time. Grab a pack, drop it above the water here. The water's okay. I think it looks like a big bowl of jello or jelly of some sort there, but they'll work on that. And then it flips over the first 14 cards for you, and then you know, you can look at them, and then it waits for you to click on your rare card. Could be a rare or legendary, depending on what it is. I believe the blue glow around it is going to indicate it's going to be a rare. It could be legendary. I'm thinking that would be red if it was going to be a legendary. Then you click on that one. It does a little fancy animation there, and then it displays it to you, and you can take a look at that card there. So all in all, the interface is okay. It's I wouldn't say it's something to write home about, but you know, I'm not going to complain about it. It does work. It gets the job done. Oops. Let's go back and open up the rest of these packs here. Yeah, that water needs some work, but it's still kind of neat. Let's see if we can maybe get a legendary. See if that actually does glow red. All right, our rare card there was Gigantify. Okay, so click OK, and we'll come back, grab another pack here. Can't wait to do this for real. Like, you'll have to go out and spend money to buy these packs, open them up, and be like, oh, what are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? It'd be awesome. That'll be really cool when that's done. I will dump tons of money into getting cards, just so I can definitely show and demonstrate decks, cheap decks, expensive decks to everybody. This, that, and the other thing. Let's see. Are we gonna get a legendary? Will that glow? Will it glow red? Our rare this time is Giant Caterpillar. Okay, it doesn't matter. We already have these cards anyway, so it's just kind of cool to do. Open these packs up. It's awesome. I like doing I'm glad that doesn't make you click on all of these to flip them over. I'm glad it flips them over for you, and then all you have to do is just click on your last one there and to flip it over. Splinter of Azathoth. I don't know. Yeah, flight card. Cool. Alright, last pack. Will we get that legendary? Hey, we didn't open all of them, did we? Oh, we had one more. Maybe not. Okay. Well, we have more platinum here. Let's just go ahead and buy 5 more. I want to see if we can get a legendary and if it glows red. So you guys tell me, what do you think of that animation there? The big-breasted woman here is definitely unique. Ritualist of the Spring Litter. Okay, that was 1. Here's 2. Still a rare. Wretched Broad. Alright, so that was 2 packs, 3 left. There we go. Come on, legendary. Or mythics, I guess it would be if you were coming from Magic. Spearcliff Cloud Knight. Now, it's interesting too is, you know, I've always paid attention to the actual rarity of cards, but really didn't sink in sometime. It really didn't sink in a whole lot until you actually start playing Draft. And you realize that some cards are rares, and that's the rare you get in that pack, and you're really disappointed. Like Pact of Life is a rare wild card. It just, you know, you gain 3 life for every resource. It's kind of disappointing, but Plant Garden, not gonna complain about that one. Last one here. Still a rare. Slaughter Gear Renegade War Factory. Well, there's a little bit of an issue there. If you click on the card before the other cards actually flip over, this card stays flipped over. Not a big deal. So that's the card opening experience there. Booster pack opening experience, however you want to call it. I like it, and could use some work, but I'm not going to complain. Like I said, you know, they'll get it fixed. All right, let's move on to some new cards, shall we? The first new card, let me pull this stuff back up here, and the first new card we're going to talk about is Time Bug. Time Bug is a troop artifact insect. He is a rare. He has flight. 2 cost, 1/1. Shuffle 2 Time Bugs you control that dealt damage to an opposing champion this turn into your deck. If you do that, take an additional turn after this one. It's similar to what, Mastery of Time? Not quite as expensive. I think Mastery of Time is 5. It's a Sapphire card, obviously. I think he's 5 cost. Let me just pull him up here. I don't remember his threshold. So let's see here. Mastery of Time is 5 cost, 2 threshold, and so between that and Time Bug will cost you 4. You have to have 2 of them, and he has to deal damage, get another turn. So I think Mastery of Time would actually probably be your better bet to be able to get that additional turn. And also don't forget about the what is it? Gore Feast card that will allow you for an additional combat phase. So these 2 cards here, Mastery of Time and Time Bug, will give you a full new turn rather than just another combat phase. But I think Mastery of Time will still be the way to go rather than Time Bug. Granted, they do have flight, so if you're playing against somebody who doesn't have flight and they can't remove them, see, they're 1/1 cards. and that 1/1 is very easy to handle, even if you don't have any flight cards in your hand. Anything that can destroy a card, like burn, rage fire, the blood card that gives a troop -1/-1. Chaos Key, it's really expensive to get rid of a 2-cost card, though I wouldn't recommend doing that. It wouldn't be hard to use Survival of the Fittest to do that. Bombsmith will deal 1 damage. Saber's Charge. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do to get rid of these. So I don't think you'll be able to probably get the 2 to do damage, but maybe, I don't know. I still think Mastery Time would be your better bet. Alright, next card is Darkspire Priestess, blood card, blood threshold of 1, 2 cost. He is a troop orc mage. He's a 2/1. He is a common. When this troop dies, choose 1 at random. They need to change this because you can't choose. It chooses for you, so you can't choose. It should say when this troop dies, one of these will be applied at random. Those options are: it deals 3 damage to each opposing champion, or search your deck for a troop with Darkspire in its name and put it into your hand. Either way, this card is good for you. No matter what it chooses, it's gonna deal damage, or you're gonna get a card back into your hand that has Darkspire in it. So I'm assuming that in cards to come in the future, there'll be more Darkspire cards in the actual cards themselves. So right now he's probably not too useful for that second option, but the first option definitely is. It's always nice to deal 3 damage when you can. Interesting art, I like it. I think it's a good card, because if you can at least get him to, maybe if you can trade a card, if you can get a card off the table from your opponent, and then he also deals 3 damage, you're going to get a 1-for-1 trade plus 3 damage. I mean, if you can hit the champion at least once, and then possibly they remove a card, or maybe this card just gets killed and it deals 3 damage, you're going to do 5. So I think it's a very, very, very good card. It's cheap, easy to put down, splashable. So yeah, I like it. Now this card here, Pheromones, if you watch Showcase Card of the Week, this card actually came up, and I guess by error it got put into the deck, and it wasn't supposed to, and I was confused. I'm like, when did this card come out? If you watch that video, it's kind of hilarious. I couldn't find anything, so I'm just like, alright, let's just roll with it. So Pheromones, Wild Shard, Wild Resource, 1 cost, 1 threshold, the basic action. He's an uncommon. Target troop gets opposing troop must block this troop if able this turn. So basically, if you have like a 4/4 card on the table, you use this here, and he has a 3/3 card on the table, you choose that card must block your 4/4. You're gonna eliminate that card. So it's a 1-for-1 trade basically. Hopefully you can get maybe get rid of one of his 4-cost cards, maybe a 5-cost card, and that would be a really good trade there. So I think this is a really good card. I don't see any problems with it. I don't really understand the rhino or the hippos with the bird. I don't know. But yeah, I would probably give that card an 8. An 8, yeah. All right, next one. Ruby. 3 cost, 1 ruby threshold, troop human rogue. Legendary, 3/3. And if you listen to Threshold the podcast, I think it's called. They do a iTunes podcast, and there's a guy on there by the name of Matt. Goes by the name of Threshold or Outlandish in game. He's been waiting for Reginald for a long time. And I think the last podcast I listened to, which was a couple weeks ago, they were hoping Reginald would be in there, but he wasn't. But anyway, Reginald's card text reads: when Reginald deals damage to an opposing champion, shuffle him into their deck, and he gets permanent. When Reginald enters your hand or graveyard, he destroys you. Then each champion draws 3 cards. So this card, the way it reads, is definitely going to be a PvE card, I think. Because it, if he destroys you, and then each champion draws 3 cards. Well, if you're just playing one-on-one, if you're playing 1v1, the game's going to be over. So I think this would probably be a PvE card, and it's pretty strong for what it can do. For sure, I like him a lot. And again, it's another human card. So if you're going with those human decks that they've been really putting out a few new cards that are geared around humans, I think it'll work out really well. Especially the Benjamin. Is it the Benjamin card that you can look at the top 10 cards of your deck and then it pull out all humans or something like that? That'd work well, very well. Okay, so now let's take a look at those new gems that we were talking about. There's 3 new gems. The first one here is a Sapphire of Mind. It's a double threshold. It doesn't tell me here if they're major or minor. Let me go take a look here. Let's just go ahead and do this, get that back up there. And let's just click here and we'll go here. Oh, they've updated the gem socketing interface as well. It's a little more intuitive now. That was not really mentioned in the patch notes, I didn't see, but interesting. Good deal. The gem socketing interface before was a little unintuitive. It was difficult to know if you were brand new to the game how to actually get your gems into the actual cards there. Let's see, where is he at? There he is. Sapphire of Mischief. Is that what they called it? On the patch notes, they have Sapphire of Mind. Oh, here it is. Sapphire of Mind. When this troop deals damage to an opposing champion, draw a card. That's not right. They have these backwards. Okay. Sapphire of Mind's text should be here. When you may play this troop at any time you play a quick action. So I think they've got that backwards, or they have the patch notes backwards, one or the other. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's this one because I don't think I've seen this one yet. This one here I have, but okay. So yeah, when you play that, you may play this troop at any time you would play a quick action. Now that's pretty cool there. I think the way that would work, if you were able to play a troop when you played a quick action, you would actually be able to block with him. So if you had if you had enough resources to do it, you could play a big card during your opponent's turn to block something. So that's good. I'm guessing that would have to be a major. They've kind of taken that out. I can't tell. Okay, there's a prime, so okay, I guess it's not. They still say prime if they're a major. Okay, so we got, well, yeah, it says right there. What the hell am I doing? Prime Sapphire of Mind. Duh. Okay, yeah, so he is a major, which is fine. I mean, the way he does, what he's able to do, that's nothing wrong with that at all. All right, next one is Blood Orb of Deception. Let's see if we can find him. Blood Orb of Deception. When this troop becomes blocked by a troop, that troop gets -1/-1 this turn. So that's pretty powerful. It could be a removal. So if you block, say you have a, I don't know, a 4/4. I mean, how would you use that? So yeah, if he blocks, he's gonna, okay, if you have 4/4 going up against a 4/4, and he blocks that 4/4, he should immediately, the way it reads, he should immediately go down -1/-1, so he should become a 3/3. You will win that battle. So hopefully that's how it works, and it doesn't, like, deal attack damage and then does the -1/-1. And even if it does, it's okay, because if he's blocking with if you have a 4/4 and he's blocking with a 5/5, thinking he's going to win, maybe that's how it works. You deal your damage, and then he becomes -1/-1, and then he's still going to go away. So it'd be a way for you to block a bigger troop. We'll have to see. We'll have to play with that one, see how it actually works. The last one here is Ruby of Flames. That one is here. Ruby of Flames, double threshold. This troop can't be blocked except by artifact troops and or troops that share a shard with it. Meaning, that it can only be blocked by ruby cards or an artifact. It's very similar to the blood card that can only be blocked by other blood cards or artifacts. I don't remember the name of that card off the top of my head, but it's very similar to that, and now that can be put into any other card to kind of balance things out, I think. I like that one as well. Other than that, that's pretty much it there. Another thing that they changed, I just saw real quick here, was when I went to search for Mastery of Time, they put the search box and all the filters and whatnot in this nice little drop down. They're cleaning up the interface, it seems like, and I definitely like that. Get rid of all that other crap that was on the side there. This looks good. I like it a lot. So they're definitely well on their way. We're getting closer and closer with every patch to get to beta. Can't wait for closed beta, because I think that's when the first wipe's going to come, and we're not going to have any cards anymore to actually play with. We'll have to actually buy them. I think then, after closed beta, they'll probably do one more wipe, and then when it goes open beta, we might get our backer gifts and whatnot. So I think I'm only going to end up with like 18 booster packs, because I came in at Soccer Backer. Other people are going to have a whole crap ton of stuff, so it's going to have to play some catch up really quick. That's where it comes down to having to buy platinum, buy cards. Hopefully you get the ones you want. So it'll be exciting. The weeks to come are going to be really exciting. So hopefully, I've heard rumors that they're going to go close beta in April, but we'll see. We'll definitely have to wait and see there. Other than that, I think that about wraps it up for this week's update. I will go ahead and link the patch notes into the description, so you can go ahead and take a look at all the other general gameplay changes and the card changes and whatnot, since I do think that's really boring for you to hear me talk about that. Yeah, and also Corey Jones, he didn't do a blog update this week, so they referenced back to the old blog they did a couple weeks ago about drafting, or opening booster pack experience. That's what it was. So I have nothing to share for you there. Other than that, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up for me. If you want to see more of these videos, go ahead and click subscribe below, and we'll have another video for you soon. And one other thing that I forgot to tell you, all the cards from set 1 are now in the game, so any cards we see from here on forward are going to be set 2, and I'm still waiting for them to put that back in the actual card when we can actually see what set they're from. I'm still waiting for that. Hopefully that'll be soon.